All right. Okay. I'm a little pissed off. Before I can say anything, I need to go back to when I first worked at this place. I work at a Sears right now, and I need to go back to whenever I first started working at Sears. Okay, so before I worked at Sears, I was working at Kroger, and at Kroger, I wasn't getting paid any. I was getting paid scraps. $8.25 an hour is what I was getting paid. So I told my boss at Kroger, hey, I'm gonna go find a different job, and you know, she was really supportive and all that. And so I went to Sears because they paid $10.25 an hour. And when I first get there for the interview, there's a woman, like the head manager is gone. He's not there. There's a woman, assistant manager, who is there, and she was taking a smoke break. And when I got there, she went inside and said, hey, I'm going to interview this kid. First off, I'm not a fucking kid. Second off, why are we taking a smoke break for my interview? You just want to be lazy. So we're sitting outside, and she's taking out a cigarette, and she's smoking, and she's asking me these questions, like these deep personal questions that I would never tell anyone ever in my life. She was like, so why do you want to work at Sears? And I said, because I wanted to make more money. And she said, okay, so how are you and your brothers? And I was like, how the fuck do you know I have brothers? And so she doesn't give me an answer, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, what can I do? And she says, don't worry, you're already hired. And I'm like, what? How am I already hired? This is hardly an interview. You're taking a smoke break because you're too lazy to actually give me a fucking interview. So the next day comes, and I start working, and I meet everyone else. I work in the warehouse, you know, getting things in, taking them out, and putting them on the floor. And I get back there, and really, there's a really big guy back there. Crazy awesome guy. His name is Anthony. Fucking love him. He teaches me the go around, and then there's another guy. There's another guy named Johnny. And Johnny, for the past 5 months, has been a friend to me. But in the background, he's a backstabbing little bitch. Johnny is teaching me everything that I don't know when I come across it. Say I come across like a little tag, and the tag's not on there, and he says you have to do this and that. And he teaches me these things. But in the background, he's telling everyone what I'm doing wrong. And so I'm just sitting there like, I'm new here. I hardly know everything. And let's go back to the assistant manager. The assistant manager, she was gone. When I first got there, she was gone. The assistant manager, when I first got there, she was on leave for 2 months because people kept complaining that she was being abusive and a bad boss. And so she wasn't there for 2 months. And when she got back, she was the sweetest woman you could ever think of. You know, with the scraggly old voice because she smokes way too much. She was fucking fantastic. And so, you know, the coming next months after she got back, she was a devil. You know, I don't do well with mean people, and I think if you watch my channel, you know that. So she comes back, and the big man, the store manager, he comes back right as soon as she comes back. He was gone for 3 months on vacation leave. This man was gone for 3 months on vacation, which he shouldn't have been in the first place. My boss has been the the warehouse manager the entire time, and these guys come back and they just run the place. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with that because it's not. I mean, I'm a lowly like pawn. I mean, I'm just here to put stuff out on the floor. Okay, so now present day, tensions have been rising. This place, people talk about you behind your back if you do something wrong, or even if you do something right, people talk about you behind your back because they want to talk about you behind your back. They love drama. And so I'm doing the best I can in the back. I'm putting stuff out on the floor, and there's this guy, and Johnny, like I told you earlier, Johnny, he's been working there for 5 years. He's 25. He has been working there for 5 years, and he basically runs the warehouse. He puts stuff on the floor, and he does things that no one else does because he already knows how to do it. And so whenever I try to take up the initiative and try to help this guy to do what he's doing, he doesn't want me to. It's his warehouse. He's very territorial over his warehouse. And so I'm sitting back here and I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I go to the big boss man. I'm like, hey, my man, he's not, you know, he's doing his best. He's working hard. What can I do to work as hard? And he says, go ask the assistant store manager. So I go and ask her. hey, what can I do to work harder? I can't do anything back there because that's his territory. So what can I do to actually assert myself into this company? And she goes, ask Johnny. So I go and ask Johnny, hey Johnny, what can I do to help you? Nothing. I have a job for a reason. Why aren't you letting me help you? So I just ignore what Johnny says, and I go out and I put stuff on the floor. And he's so pissed off with me. He goes behind my back and tells the store manager, hey, he's not working at all. He's not doing anything at all. And so the store manager brings me into his office and says, hey, why aren't you doing anything? And I'm sitting here like, what do you mean? I'm putting stuff on the floor like my job description tells me to. And so he's going, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am. What are you talking about? And he says, you're not working at all. And I'm saying, yes, I am. I am working 10 times harder than everyone else here. So big man sends me home saying, hey, there's nothing for you to do today. First off, it's a big company. You can't send someone home when they're supposed to work. And secondly, I need money. So he sends me home, and I go back the next day, and I'm like, okay, I guess Johnny isn't here, so I'm just gonna start putting stuff out on the floor. So I start putting stuff out on the floor. A few hours pass of me putting stuff on the floor, and there are customers in the front. There's no one in the front helping these customers, and it's just me and the assistant store manager. The assistant store manager is outside taking a smoke break while everyone's inside in the front desk waiting. So I take initiative, and I go into the front desk, and I bag these orders, you know, and I'm putting in the P fuck, what is it called, the P numbers. So I'm putting in all these numbers, and I'm taking these stuff to the bag to put it on their car, and I'm doing everything by myself. And she comes in and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing? I'm just doing this stuff that you're supposed to be doing. And she goes, don't get smart with me. And I say, that's all I did. I go back in the back and I start putting things onto cars and trucks. And she comes back there and she's like, how dare you get smart with me? And I just say, what do you mean? What was I supposed to do? You wasn't helping at all. And she says, okay. And she writes me up. So the next day I go in and I talk to the big boy himself, the store manager. And I talk to him. I say, hey, Cheryl was taking a smoke break the entire time I was helping people out there. And when she came in, she was not helping at all. And whenever I was trying to help, she would get mad at me for helping. And so what he did, he blamed it all on me, saying, oh, you should have been out there in the first place. Like, what was I supposed to do? Just let the customers wait? Maybe that's why Sears is actually breaking down and not fucking doing anything. The store manager, he comes back at me and he says, that's what you get for not doing anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I am doing the best I can to what abilities I can. And so he stands up and says, what are you gonna do? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking work. That's what I'm gonna do. Don't come at me and stand up in front of me. I will knock your fucking head off. He told me to leave for the day, and I tried talking to another guy. His name is Nathan, one of the best guys who works there. I tried talking to Nathan, and I ended up talking to Nathan, and he says, yeah, everyone's talking about you, about how you're not working or doing anything. And I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about? I am putting stuff on the floor every single day I'm asked to. And he goes, that's not what Johnny's saying. You mean Johnny's been telling people that I'm not working and causing everyone to fucking hate me? And he goes, putting that sense, yeah. And so I'm sitting here and I go to Johnny. I say, dude, why are you saying that I'm not working? He said, because this is my territory. This is my spot. And I go, I was brought here because you needed help. And he goes, I don't need your help. For the past 5 months, Johnny has been a friend to me, and just this one time he looks at me and says, I don't need your fucking help. Yeah, but when you sit there and you lie against me, man, that's the worst thing you can do to someone. Motherfucker, I will get my revenge. I promise you. I will not stop until you are fucking fired or just you're depressed. Okay, I won't go that far, but I'll get to you, man. I promise you. And I told this man everything. Like, I had a YouTube channel and I was, having fun and everything. And he told everyone I had a YouTube channel. And my boss comes up and says, hey, you can't have a fucking YouTube channel. I'm like, what do you mean I can't have a YouTube channel? It's my life. Let me do what I want. Just, dude, if only this YouTube thing could, like, pan out. And I could just, like, get a fucking job at YouTube. I swear to God, I would just be done with that place. I would just be done with it. I wish I could quit my job with happiness. I would yell at that motherfucker so loud. Oh my god, the entire store would hear it. I'm just tired of it all, man.